This video is about a current event in psychology called peer influences on adolescent body image, friends or foes. The aim of this study by Kenny et al. Was to investigate how peers influence adolescent body image and whether this influence was positive and/or negative from young people's perspectives. 111 adolescents ages 13 to 18 years old from the Republic of Ireland participated in the study in 17 different focus groups. Before we get to the main results of the study, there's some important background information to know. Body image is defined as how one sees, thinks, feels, and acts towards his or her physical appearance, where body dissatisfaction, on the other hand, is the extent to which one experiences displeasure with the whole or specific parts of his or her body, and both are a huge concern for adolescents. This national study was conducted to examine adolescents on their perception of body image. 43% who were between the ages of 10 and 21 were not satisfied with their body. A cross-sectional study revealed that 81% of girls and 55% of boys ages 12 to 18 years old wanted to alter their body. Poor self-image is the leading cause of negative mental health impacts on adolescents ages 12 to 18 years old in Ireland. So the results of the study were 7 major themes and 11 sub-themes. The first theme was about peer modeling and peer comparison. So this peer modeling is looking like their peers, and that increased self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-respect. Boys and girls claim to copy their peers in order to look better than them. This involved clothes, hairstyle, weight, shape of body. It was mostly specific to girls with makeup, eyebrow shape, tanning habits, and it monitored the peers who received the most verbal compliments and received the most likes on Facebook. Peer comparison relates to body weight and shape to resemble how closely they looked with their peers. For girls, it was mostly about weight and clothing size, while for boys, it was about hairstyle, muscularity, and sporting ability. The second theme was the pressure to conform. For boys, it was the aesthetic, athletic body ideal, which consisted of being slim, strong, and muscular, but they also had to conform to hairstyles and clothes that their peers were wearing on and off the sports field. For girls, it was long hair, a pretty face, flawless skin, white teeth, being a size 0, having a thigh gap, and quote-unquote being perfect. All the girls in the study knew these characteristics were unrealistic, but still felt bad about themselves if they did not conform. So conformity can lead to a lot of health-compromising behaviors, such as dieting, dietary restraint, purging, excessive exercise, and muscle enhancement. And these practices all intensified once a social event was approaching, like dieting for prom, and these behaviors were seen as a group activity. Peer conversations also play a part, especially fat talk, which involved complaining about weight and discussing weight loss regimes. This put pressure on them to engage in dieting and or muscle enhancement behaviors. The third theme was peer surveillance, where they're being constantly surveyed by one's peers. It gives rise to self-policing tendencies to ensure that appearance expectations were being met. This also coincided with frustration and fears of rejection and criticism. Girls always found flaws in others, even though they thought those girls had the perfect image. So girls were being surveyed by other girls more often than boys surveying other boys. Boys also survey the appearance of girls, but to a far lesser extent. The fourth theme was the failure to conform and how that led to peer teasing. Boys predominantly mentioned they were teased about their muscular body shape or lack thereof, how they dressed and how they styled their hair, but it appeared to be worse for girls. They were teased for not meeting weight requirements, makeup if it wasn't applied correctly or at all times, and then teeth and hair. Overweight peers can get a lot of teasing. Some claimed that overweight peers can be protected from peer teasing if they have a nice personality. And if you fail to conform with your peers, you will be judged. And these teasing mechanisms included, as self-reported, pointing, laughing at you, and throwing dirty looks. Adolescents became frustrated because they were told to be themselves, but the only way to avoid getting teased was adjusting how they looked and acted. And if they didn't, it also led to peer exclusion. So if they didn't conform, they'd be excluded, and this was especially for those who were overweight. The fifth theme was health consequences. Of course, overconcern with body image can be taken to extreme levels as a result of negative peer influences. Unfortunately, these behaviors include self-harm, suicide, peer isolation, binge eating, and extreme weight loss and exercise routines. And they can also lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, and paranoia. The sixth theme was positive peer influences. So that resulted in peer encouragement. Peer influenced boys and girls to lose weight, get fitter and stronger and more muscular. Accompanying peers on exercise activities were seen as supportive, but oddly enough, teasing overweight peers also encouraged them to lose weight and get fit. Peer compliments boosted individual self-esteem overall and reassured their appearance expectations were being met. But girls made it clear that compliments were only given towards appearance and how they were supposed to look, where genuine advice was only given about clothing. Boys and girls also briefly mentioned that pure honesty can end up being very hurtful. The seventh and final theme was about gender age difference. Boys were boys confirmed that they conformed at a certain age, and especially a younger age, in order to create friendships. But as adolescents generally became older, they became more mature and independent. Thus, peers are not influential in terms of body image perceptions later on. Peer diversity is then respected rather than criticized once they become older. So it was found that the peer influence process is cyclic, and each aspect of peer influence affects the next. It is unclear where the cycle starts or ends, but it's a constant, sad cycle. Social comparison theory suggests that individuals use information about others to derive conclusions about their self, body weight, and shape. High levels of Facebook usage are related to appearance comparisons, weight dissatisfaction, and increased drive for thinness. Peer comparisons through social media are made to seek out whether their appearance resembles that of their peers and conforms to the strict ideals with their peer environment. In the study, both boys and girls claim that they conform to social ideas in order to impress opposite sex peers. This unfortunately supports the objectification theory. The adolescents in the study viewed and valued themselves based on physical appearance and treated themselves as objects for male or female gratification. So research implications suggest that prevention and intervention programs can be instituted to increase awareness and understanding of the effects of peer influence on body image and body satisfaction. These programs can include highlighting the roles of peers in creating and reinforcing appearance standards, showing the effects these standards have on health and well-being, promoting appearance diversity, and making adolescents aware of influence that social media has on body image.